Hey everyone, how's everyone doing tonight? All right, a little bit of connection issue, but I think I'm here now. Can everyone hear me? Everyone see and hear me? Hey Anne Marie, hey Jordan, AJ, Izzy, Hayden, Kat. Hi David, nice to meet you. Maria. Perfect. Hey Veronica, glad you can hear me. Hey, how you doing? Folks see me okay too? Behind me? Very cool. All right. Hey Sergio, nice to meet you. Jeff, thank you for staying awake. I know it's been a long couple days for you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey Dash, see you. Okay. Elise, nice to meet you. Izzy, okay. Well, why don't we get started here? We'll give folks a few more seconds to trickle in, but welcome to the Listing Rescue Workshop. I'm Michael Chang, and appreciate you guys joining today. A lot of you are new to or newer to the Airbnb investing space, and you can do all the hard work with finding the right market, finding the right property, but fundamentally all those things are great, right? They kind of set you up for success, but what really makes you win, what allows you to win, is your listing, your actual listing, right? The way that you present your listing really is critical to your success. You can have the best amenities, the best location, the best service, but if it's not highlighted within your listing, it's going to be really hard for someone to find you. And if they do find you, you're not conveying the value proposition clearly, right? So if you're not doing that, you're just, candidly doing yourself a disservice. It's I always like to say, like, you don't want to do all this hard work and not like just maximize your chance of success. So that's what I really want to try to do here tonight is, want to do this on a more regular basis, but really, taking listings that you guys share with me, and let's just kind of go through that. We've developed a 10-point framework that we use for our listings, and I'll show you that we use to have a systematic kind of structured approach on how we approach and about how we construct our listings, how we take our photos, how we write our copy, and how we market it. Okay. So that's really, that's a brief synopsis of what I want to cover today. And, we're going to go for, I'm going to put on the deck here right now. We're going to go for about 60 minutes today. We are going to have let me start this right here. So we're going to go for about 60 minutes today. We're going to do some real listings from you. And then I'm going to share the 5 proven strategies that we've utilized to increase our revenue, right? So look, I mean, when I say we, I always say we, and it's my wife and I, Liz and I, and I'll talk a little bit, we started a business together in 2016. And we've had our ups and downs. It's just like any other business. We've had our ups and downs through these last 7-8 years. And when our listings have gotten stale, if we're hitting an air pocket in demand, we got to figure out ways to generate more views in our listing. So we've just through experience figured out a few things that worked. And if you have listings right now that could use more revenue, could use a little more love, I think you'll take some of those. You can take some of those learnings from what we're going to cover in the next hour, and then apply it to yours. So that's really like my one promise to you is you're going to get some actionable insights on what you're going to pick up. I guarantee you're going to pick up some actual insights that you're going to be able to use to improve your listing and make some more money. So that's my promise to you. And if I don't hit it, email me and tell me what you did and why it didn't work, and we'll fix that. Okay. And I'm going to make a quick pitch for the VIP session. So Anne Marie, thanks for joining. For joining us or participating in that session. If you're a current student in STR Like the Best, you've invested in a program, you'll get this. You have this as part of your investment in a program. For folks that aren't in the program, we're going to have another hour, and I'm just going to kind of leave this up here. You can see it in the offers section on your phone, but we're going to do another hour after the first hour, and where you can ask me Q&A about I can hit your listings directly. You can ask me very specific questions on what exactly is your issue, and then we can try to problem solve together and help you get over that mental hump or get over that problem, so that you can make more money from your listing. And for me, this is so all proceeds 100% is going to go to the ASPCA of New York City. So it is a organization that's important to me. So I like to call this, I'll help rescue your listing. You help, together we can help rescue a needy pet, a needy dog. And for me, it's actually near and dear to my heart, because if you the pictures are right there, it's me and my dog Winnie. And Winnie's a rescue. My wife actually, Liz, rescued Winnie when she was 1 year old, and we've had her for the last I've been with her for the last 10 years. Liz adopted her 15 years ago, so she's 16 years old, and she is I always say we always joke she's the first kid. And we really, that's an organization that we've always supported. And so today, if you want to be with us and help us support that organization, we'd love to do that. It's a $49 donation if you want to participate, and so you can upgrade, and you'll get the Zoom link to join on the VIP session afterwards. So you don't have to do it now. If you want to, great. But why don't we kind of go through the session, and if you feel like you've gotten value and you want to spend more time together, feel free to avail yourself of the option. But let's rescue needy cats and dogs together, right? While we rescue your listing. Okay. All right. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Jeff. Guys. So first, I want to get to know you guys a little bit better as well. So I have 3 questions that I'm going to pose to you. So you'll see, probably on the right side or the bottom side of your screen, the first poll, right? So out of the 34 people here, who does arbitrage, who does co-hosts, a combination of the 3, or you haven't started yet? Okay. Very cool. Okay, so we have combination as, still waiting to start. Okay. Okay. I'll let this kind of go right now. Hey, Udesh. So, okay, so we have, looks like arbitrage, a clear favorite. Own as well. Okay, it's actually pretty balanced in a combination of the strategies. Okay, so a lot of you arbitrage here, a lot of you own as well, and it looks like a lot of people own and arbitrage, which is a strategy that my wife and I, that I use. I call it the Aflac method, where you build your portfolio through rental arbitrage. And for folks that don't know what that means, it means when you rent a property, whether it's apartment or a house, and then you re-rent it on Airbnb with the landlord and the property owner's permission, and you make the difference between the rent that you pay and your expenses and the gross revenue you can collect. So cool. Well, thank you so it's good to know. Not many co-host people here, right? So okay, mostly own and arbitrage. Okay, perfect. Let's see here. Okay, second question. How many properties do you own or manage? Right? It's kind of, I guess, more of the continuation of the first question, but I'm just kind of curious, like, who here doesn't own any? Just a proportion. Okay. 2/3 people have one or more units. Okay, so 25%. Okay. So about 10 people. Okay. 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 Who here, if you're not yet, write yes in the chat if you are actively looking right now. I want to know who is actively, if you don't have any yet, how many are you actively looking right now? Like really, like you spent over the last week, you spent some time to either look to buy or look to arbitrage or look to co-host. Who here is in that? Just write one down in chat. I just want to see who. I want to see who is working hard and actively looking. I know Desh is. I know Veronica is. Who else? Maria. Okay. Yes, sir. Radesh. Sergio. Izzy. Ari. Always. Okay. Always on the hunt. Okay. All right. Tony. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. All right. Last question. 3 questions. So for the 75% of people here, what are you struggling the most with? Right. So we got 38 people. So 30 of you guys have properties and you're here tonight. So what are you struggling with right now? Okay, low revenue definitely looks like the winner. Yeah, Mark. Okay, looking to build. 60% low. Okay. So everyone's getting pretty good reviews. Cleaners are good. 2/3 low revenue and difficult to scale. Okay. I'm going to give a few more minutes. I'm actually very curious here. Okay. So 2/3, right? So first off, can you guys see the poll? I just want to make sure that you guys actually see it too. Let me know if you can't see it. Okay. Okay. So it's pretty clear, right? 2/3 of folks, 60% of folks are having trouble with low revenue. Okay, which is, I think kind of the long pole in the tent here. Like that's something that we're going to spend a lot of time on trying to solve. Difficult to scale. Okay, we can cover that in the VIP section. I'm going to be focused on the low revenue side right now, and then something else. Okay. Well, whoever wrote something else, what am I not? What's not on the list that is your biggest problem right now? You can write it down in the chat. I'm curious. Okay. Now, so most people here are arbitrage or own, right? And for those that own an arbitrage, 60% are struggling with low revenue, and the other 40%, I presume, properties are doing well, looking to add more arbitrage units, add more units, either by arbitrage or by buying, or they have a bad neighbor. Hey, Miles, how are you? All right, okay. Now, I think a lot of you guys know me here, but for folks that don't, I just want to give a quick background on who I am. So we've been able to build a nice business. My wife and I over, last 7 years. But I think a lot of people kind of seen our success now and are like, well, you guys probably had a big running head start in life, and I have no properties right now. How am I ever going to get to 35? Right. And look, if I definitely did not start with, we didn't have a running start. I had two parents that loved us, so just that was a good thing. But, you know, we immigrated to the US when I was 4, from Taiwan. And then, you know, when we moved here, we moved to San Francisco when I was 4. My brother was 7. We lived in the second bedroom of my uncle's house for the first 3 years. Dad worked at the airport. Mom worked at a hotel, kind of service jobs their entire lives. What they did teach us was, you know, perseverance, importance of getting an education. And, you know, something that I think I took away from that, especially is, you know, with like a 2-parent household, no matter, you know, kind of the financial situation, you know, it's important, like, your parents are there, they care, you know, even though they have like a ton of resources or as much as they want. When you're a kid, you don't really know or care. You're just kind of happy that, you know, you have a house over your head and you get to go to school and play with your brother, right? So so I was always like, I was going to look back on that. And the reason I just mentioned this is just because it kind of, it definitely colors how I view the world and how I view investing, which is kind of the main topic here. So look, I mean, I was the first person in my family to go to college, first person in my family to go to grad school, went to Cornell, got my MBA. Luckily I got a full ride there. And so I wasn't saddled with all this debt, which was nice. And I got a good job. I went to Wall Street, worked in investment banking. I was at Citibank and Bank of America Merrill Lynch for about 10 years total, doing M&A investment banking, which for folks that don't know what that means, just means that I helped companies, you know, sell and buy other companies or sell themselves, raise money to, you know, borrow money, sell stock, just, you know, general kind of capital raising type activities. So I did it for 10 years, and it, you know, really kind of helped. It did two things, which I just want to give some context, which informs kind of how I look at the world in my analysis. I came from a very analytical mindset and also saw a lot of different businesses. And when I saw Airbnb arbitrage and just Airbnb business in general, I knew there was something like really there, and I wanted to double click on it and really lean into that. And, you know, this was my way of quitting the 9 to 5. I always wanted to start a business, and, you know, first in my family to build a successful business. My dad had we had a store that didn't do very well and it closed after 3 years, and, you know, that was another kind of, you know, very important experience. I look back on that and I see why now that I'm older now, and I see why that business failed. And, you know, that really helped me understand that I don't want to fail in this business. And, you know, when you fail, when you have a family that depends on you and you're failing your business, like it's really not a great combination to have. So I definitely didn't want that. So look, quit investment banking, started this business in 2016. You know, we did over $2 million over the last 12 months, own 7 properties worth, you know, 8+ million, probably more than that. I've retired to parents with this, and, you know, work on this full time. And thanks, Anne Marie. I appreciate that. Anne Marie, she lives in New York, and she was kind enough to host us at her Hamptons house last year. So appreciate that always. It's all, and just as a quick side note, it's always great to meet people, meet you guys, and you guys, folks in the community, people that invest in the program, even if you haven't. You know, when we have events, I always like meeting people and come out and say hello. So going back to this, so look, I live in New York City. My wife lives there. Our daughter Athena. I have a 1-year-old son now, Jackson. He just turned 1, and of course our first kid, Winnie. So there, I'm just going to picture on the right there. And, you know, our portfolio is 35, as of today, it's 35 total properties, 28 rental arbitrage units. They're all in the city of Philadelphia. 7 that we own, 6 are in Tennessee. 1 is in the Catskills in New York, which I'm going to show you guys, actually. So I'm very proud to show you guys. And then, you know, all these are remote, right? The Catskill ones is the closest, 2.5 hours away. The Philly stuff is 2 hours away, and Tennessee stuff is 10 hours away. And you know, what I want to highlight is everything we're talking about, everything can be done remotely, right? This doesn't necessitate you having to be on the property. You know, we have folks here that live in California that have properties in Birmingham, Alabama. They can't fly all the way out there, even to deal with a bad neighbor. So one thing I do want you to take away from this is This is one of the few businesses that's scalable and also can be done remotely, right? If you just build the right teams and the right systems, it absolutely can be done remotely. I have cleaners in every single city that basically operate as my property managers there. They not only clean, but they restock all my inventory. They fix small issues there. I had a project in Philadelphia last week. I wish I had some pictures. No, I'll show those. I'll share those actually on my Instagram stories this week. But we basically redid a couple apartments, redecorated, and my cleaner drove everything. So finding the right person, on the ground person, is critical. And then we have 7 people that are based overseas in Asia that handle all the customer service, all the accounting, all the bookkeeping. So everything is done remotely and distributed, and we run the business from our phones effectively. So never, don't ever think that there's basically nothing you can't do on the phone if you have the right systems and people in place. There's nothing where you need to physically be there. It's easier, of course, and probably cheaper in the short run. But in the long run, if you want to scale a business, you got to build the people and the systems around you to allow you to scale. I just pulled this from my property management system today. So we did, we're on last 12 months, we did 2.17 million. It is 79.26% occupancy rate. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then if you look at the pie chart to the right, that big red circle there is the Airbnb, and then everything else is the other platforms. So Booking.com, Vrbo, Expedia, direct bookings. So Airbnb is still about 70% of our business, 30% is everything else. And our goal is to continue to whittle that down lower and lower. We don't want to be as dependent on Airbnb. And that's a topic for a different day. Okay. Rental arbitrage, right? Why do we do rental arbitrage? Again, just kind of pulled these from the property management system. This was October, right? So this is just October. This is the top left, the 2-bedroom apartment did 5,700. October is like kind of a shoulder season. It's definitely not high season in Philadelphia. So numbers aren't, as good as, if I showed you summer numbers, it'd be like 9,000, but this still exceeds 2x revenue to rent, which is good. And then what's really crushing it actually is we got these really nice studio apartments, the one below. So this one at $4,800. But the rent on the studio apartment, the operating cost of the studio apartments is 30% less. And it generates similar revenue. So those are really, really profitable. And we're trying to actually get more studios in that building. But you see there, basically, even though it's shoulder season, they're still booked out basically the entire month. And then these are properties we own in the Smokies. So one did 15K this month. The 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom did 11K. The mortgage on the 5-bedroom is, that was a $1.2 million house. So we bought it for 1.2. So that thing was, I think the mortgage is about $5,700 on that. The principal, interest, taxes, insurance. In the 4-bedroom, we actually bought that really early. The mortgage on that's like $3,000 a month. So it, cash flows really, really well. And you can see the occupancy rates and nights booked. So those are nice. I think and I just want to just kind of point out, when we talk about revenue management later, when we talk about kind of the revenue upside audit that I'm going to talk about, you can see that even if it's shoulder or high season, we're going to always be 80, 90% booked. We're going to always try to be as booked as possible. Now, in the slow season, when it's like February in both of these markets, it's really slow. It's just really, really hard to get those kind of numbers. If we do the 60%, we're pretty happy. But generally speaking, if it's not low season, you should be able to get 85, 90% occupied if you have a strong revenue management strategy. Okay. Like that is absolutely possible. And, a lot of you here are, students I've coached, I've seen your units, you definitely can do that. Right. So, just got to level up that next step on the revenue management side to maximize your investment and get more revenue into your units. Okay. Okay. Do you feel like you compete with hotels? Crystal, that's a great question. You know, I do think you do compete with studios. So the thing with these studios that made them special, and that's the only reason we don't have two of them, and we don't have I can't get like 10 of them, is because studios in are pretty small. So call it 400 square feet. You can only fit one bed, and I wish I could show you. It's hard to see here. You look on the bottom, you see there's if you look in the bottom picture, which is the studio, you'll see the table, right? The brown table. You'll see the kitchen counter, right? And obviously it's really good lighting. And then that towards the back is the living room. To the right is the bed, right? So that's a king bed. What you don't see actually, this is the hero image. There's another bed there. So if you can get a large studio that can fit two queen beds, or like a king and a bunk, or two, I mean, ideally two kings would be the best. You actually, you're paying like a studio rent, that actually will do very, very well, right? So that's a combination there that's actually going to uh, generally do well because you're able to put 4 to 5 people in a studio, and that's generally going to do really well for you. Okay. Great question, by the way. So I'm very proud to show you guys. A lot of you guys probably haven't seen this yet. So this is our new property in the Catskills. Okay. And this is the logo that we designed. So it's called Free Chalet, the Catskills, New York. So I'm going to go to share my screen here. Okay. Oh. Okay. So can you guys see the photo here? Or can you guys see the Airbnb listing? I'm gonna shoot this actually. Give me a second. Can you see the Airbnb listing? Crystal, Izzy? Someone see it? Okay. So this is the property that we bought in Windham, New York. It's about 2.5 hours north. It is a ski town, so it's up the mountain. There's a ski mountain here, which it's kind of hard to see here. But the ski runs you can see the ski runs from the living room. We're waiting to take, when it's wintertime, to take the winter shots so you can see the ski runs. So if you have a property that is multiple seasons, I highly recommend taking different shots during different seasons to highlight that amenity. So before I start with the photos, I just want to go through the listing here a little bit. So the selection of the first 5 images is critical. You want to have the hero shot, which is the left largest shot. You want that to really highlight your property, right? And for us here, it was to highlight the chalet style of the property, the very high ceilings and large windows that overlook out into the backyard and everything, right? And you can see, we have it, it's really done in a way where you can see the full couch, you can see the grandeur of the living room. And then we want to show on the second picture here, we want to show, sorry, on the top right, we want to highlight the backyard amenities that we have. So there's a barrel sauna, there's obviously the hot tub, you can see the lighting underneath the deck, you can see the outdoor lighting on the posts, and you can see the hammocks. And on the right side, you can see the fire pit. There's a dog. There's a father and son making s'mores, right? So this is marketed towards families. So knowing your guest avatar, like who you're marketing to, is also very important. And we've designed this way. We wanted to highlight the secludedness of the property and the beauty during the evening. So in the fourth shot, which is the evening shot, you can see the stars when you're standing outside the property and you have the outdoor lighting on. And lastly, just the vibe that we wanted to give the property. We kind of made a custom disco ball, custom neon lights with vintage skis, just to give kind of a darker and moody feel to the property. So when you're picking your 5 photos, it's really critical to make sure that you're very purposeful in what you're selecting as your first 5 images, right? And from that, you think about the guest type that you're trying to market. For us, it's families that want to come to the mountain, and they can see from every shot, the spaces that they're going to get to enjoy, right? So the living room, the outdoor amenities, the hot tub, just the secludedness, just the wilderness, and then kind of a moody, you turn off the lights, a moody kind of feeling when you're in a chalet type situation. And then you want to be able to write good copy. A lot of this with ChatGPT is very helpful, but you want to have a short description. And then I'm not going to go through every single point, but what's really good is to kind of highlight your property, the specific sections of your property. So it's good to have a highlight section, and then you go through the living room, kitchen, and you kind of go through the different rooms of the house and use bullet points, be pithy. 70% of people book on the app versus the website. So you want to they're scrolling through their phones. So you want to make it easy for them to read. Okay. And then you want to make sure that you highlight as many amenities as possible, right? As many amenities as possible to make sure that if someone's looking for something, like, we want to make sure we had a first aid kit, for example, a carbon monoxide kit. You want to make sure when you're at the property to take your Wi-Fi speed, right? I posted a reel on that. It's actually pretty important. People care about that, especially if you're in the wilderness. People are like, oh, well, maybe you have very bad internet, or you might not get phone service. And then those, the Wi-Fi speed is really important to them. Okay. So make sure you do that. The property's booked out really well, and we've gotten some, pretty solid reviews over, we're 6 weeks in operations right now. So we have 7 reviews. We're guest favorite. And, the good thing about this property is the high season is during the low season in our other markets in Pennsylvania and in Tennessee. So this will be a nice balance. So let me take a look here on some of the questions. Notice no spaces between the words and the title. Are you concerned this could negatively impact SEO? I understand you're doing to, yeah. So we haven't, I think there's different schools of thought online on that. I would say, based on our experience, a lot without having the extra space doesn't impact your SEO. This is still in page 1 listing. It doesn't impact it. The algorithms are smart enough now where they can tease out words and kind of the spaces in between. So what I would be more concerned about is this kind of being hard to read. But I do want to. You have such a little space in your title. You really want to maximize that real estate. It's extremely valuable real estate. So I don't think it impacts SEO. In my experience, it doesn't impact SEO, and I don't think that's something that I would be overly worried about. I think you want to really communicate. Like, we really want to. If we didn't do that, we wouldn't be able to say sauna or hot tub or fire pit, right? Which is really important that we wanted to highlight. Okay, Miles, what are your thoughts about a drone shot being? So I don't like drone shots being the hero shot, because unless there's something spectacularly unique about your property that a drone shot is going to show. People aren't spending, you want people to visualize being inside a property. Drone shot's going to be hundreds of feet in the air, right? So that's better as maybe the third photo or fourth photo, or in the other photos within your SEO. Okay. Do you rotate the order of these 5 pictures? You can and you should if your listing is getting stale. When Airbnb senses movement on your listing, it will increase the SEO of it. So that's a good idea. There was one person that sent over the person. I don't know if you're on the person that sent over their property in Florida, and the one in California by Disneyland has a really nice kind of hero shot with their photos with small kind of preview shots of their other photos. That's really well done. So Crystal here, the question is going to show how this question is going to show how new we are to this, but are you getting the opportunity to write that much? Yeah. So Crystal, the 500 words is really just this here. You can see the highlight. So this is 500 words is just this, right? And then everything else is the other parts of the listing. So Crystal, yours is one that we're going to go through, and the title and the descriptions are things that are that you definitely want to be mindful of. I know you just launched. So everyone, Crystal just launched 4 properties today. Her and her husband just launched 4 properties today. So congratulations. I know a lot of hard work and some more optimization for you guys to do. We'll be covering that on the mentorship call tomorrow. So Liz and I have been working on that for you, and we're going to share that with you tomorrow. Okay. All right, Miguel. Michael, for this property is more clear the examples of amenities given the size, nature of amenities. How would you recommend organizing the photos of a regular 2-bedroom apartment? Well, perhaps you should join the VIP session, Miguel, because I'm happy to show you one of our listings or parts of one of our listings in Philadelphia. And, you want to be able to show the amenities of the building, but your hero shot, you want to find like the best photo. Actually, we'll have a good example of that later on. Actually, if you just stay on as we go through Crystal and Jeff's photos. Okay. So look, I wanted to just share this with you guys so you guys can see. And then just one more thing I wanted to share was, Airbnb has this photo tour. You really want to make sure that you are tagging all your photos within the Airbnb app. Like it's organizing your photos for you. So you want to make sure you're kind of tagging everything properly, because one, it's probably going to negatively impact your SEO if you don't have any organization there. And 2, it's just actually easier to read for the guests. So highly recommend doing that. Also recommend trying to put as many captions as you can. So I just want to kind of go highlight some points here. If you have a house and, it's more special, it's always a good idea to add kind of the concepts I want to make sure to communicate. You want to add depth to your photos. It's very, very critical. And I just want to show this photo here. I don't remember if it's dark or not. Okay. You can see enough of it. Okay. You can see the depth in the photo, right? It's all strategic. None of this was kind of happened by circumstance. You can see the red first. Your first anchor is that red lamp to the right, and then you can see how every level has something. There's a record player. There's a record. There's the chairs. There's the macaroons on top of on the table. There's some color on the table and the flowers. There's the ficus plant at the end. There's a disco light on the top. I'm not saying to do this for every single one, but like just the concept of making sure that your photos are layered and have depth, because that's what really catches the booker's attention. They like, there's just more to the photo that they'll spend more time on the photos looking at it because there's just different levels to it. If it's all one color or there's no depth to it, it's just really easy to scroll, right? And just kind of think about that as you're scrolling through when you're shopping or when you're even on social media. The more stuff that's happening there, the more depth, the longer you're going to stay and watch that video. Okay. So that's the first point, because I'm going to talk about that a bit more later on. And the second one is actually here. Where's the one? You want to make sure that you are highlighting your bedrooms properly, right? You want to have a couple of photos of, especially the master bedroom is really important, right? So, you can see we have a side shot here, right? And because the concepts, right? Like, you don't want to copy paste because this property might not be applicable to yours. But again, you see the depth in the bed, right? You see 4 different layers of pillows. Again, all very purposeful. You're layering the experience. And then you have these 2, little ottomans in front that look out to the deck, right? I'm trying to get one more shot here. I just want to show this. This is important here. Apologize, my internet's really, I don't know, my internet's kind of slow today. Okay. I won't be able to get it for a larger photo, but I want you to see the bed here. The second photo down with the skis on top, the skis that are mounted above the bed. Again, when you're doing your bed shots, try to add as much depth as you can, right? You can see here, there's the runner at the end of the bed. There's the towels to the left, right? Because we don't want it to block the middle. Then there's the red pillow. There's a striped pillow, right? It's a contrast from the solid. And then the back is the blue pillow, again, solid. So you have that contrast there. And then the white pillows in back. And it looks very comfortable and comforting, right? Which is what you want in a bed. Okay. So let me turn the screen share off here. How you present your beds actually are very important in making sure that people stop and review your listings, right? You want to get your listing title right. You want to get the first 5 photos right. And then as they click through, the bedroom shots are where they're going to focus on, right? Especially the master bedroom. So the more time you can get them to spend there, the more comfortable it looks, the more depth it has there. It's going to increase your conversion rates on Airbnb. Okay. Okay. By the way, was that helpful, guys? Is that helpful to kind of see an example of these from our property on the strategy we have behind design? Just raise your hand and write yes if you think so. Right now, right now, if you didn't find it helpful right now, actually, it's even better. So I know it's not helpful. Okay, let's continue. All right, the first live listing audit. All right, so let's do one here. So I took all of the listings here, and I picked number 11 and number 16. And I already have number 11 just because I knew that this was going to take some time to load. So this is the first. This is an apartment this is hosted by Trisha. This is an apartment based in Salt Lake City. Now, it's actually a very nice property. You can see, it's pretty recent, only 5 reviews, 5.0, guest favorite. But what it's lacking, so I'm going to go through the title, the first 5 photos, the listing description, and then the revenue or the revenue upside audit. So I'm going to show a few things. And I know we're kind of running 45 minutes. So the first is the title, right? The Bentler SLC1, right? So it doesn't, you don't want to waste this valuable real estate on a name that no one understands what it means. So this property, you can tell here, has an unbeatable location. Every guest gave it a. So you want to highlight the location for this property, right? So this property, if it's downtown, if it's near a landmark that people that go to Salt Lake City know, you definitely want to highlight. That's probably one of the first things you want to highlight on this listing. You want to highlight that it's a pretty modern apartment, so potentially luxurious, right? There's if you look on the photo tour, there's a nice there's a nice roof deck, there's a nice gym, there's a balcony. So I would highlight that. I would highlight the location, I would highlight the amenities, I would highlight the balcony. What I don't want you to highlight is like it's 2 bedrooms, sleeps 5, things that they can figure, the booker is already looking for, because when they're searching for properties, they're already putting a minimum bedroom number, an ideal guest number. So you don't need to repeat that in your title. You want to highlight things they can't easily see from the filters from Airbnb. So it's always good to just go on Airbnb and just like pretend to be a booker and see that flow. It will help you see the customer journey from the first step. And you definitely don't want to pick. This is a picture of the landmark there. You don't want that. You want that to be a hero shot of like, your living room here, for example, right? So this person here, they really need to take real professional photos. These photos look like they were taken from a phone. There's no HDR photography behind it. HDR is when you take multiple photos and blend them together. It makes it look a lot nicer. There's also not enough photos on here. 3 is insufficient here, right? They have the 3 here, and then it looks like it has part of the amenity space here. I would also add that this could use a lot more depth. The rug here is way too small for this room. It actually makes the room look even smaller. You want a rug here that's proportional to the room. You want a TV here. I'm actually going to just keep it small, but you can see the TV. The TV looks too small for the room. So if you have a big room like this, you should try to go for like a 55-inch TV. TVs aren't very expensive. It's not a big difference between like a 42-inch and a 55-inch. You want to get a large TV for the living room. The dining room is actually done fairly well. It has kind of the plate set out. Again, use a little more depth. The beds are okay. There's 3 levels of depth here, but you can see how the colors are all the same, so it all kind of blends in. It would be good to have something that's a different color, something brighter that pops in your bedroom 1 photo. Bedroom 2 photo, what this conveys is a property that is more marketed towards a budget traveler, right? Where you have the roll away bed already laid out, right? What you'd like to do here is open up the shades, give it more color. It needs more decoration. It needs more depth. But it's really smart of this person to do a bunk bed. You can fit a lot more people. I think that's why people really like it. It's a great value. The balcony is a really great shot that should be highlighted more. And then the balcony here again, their balcony from the apartment can just use some different camera angles. Some cushions here would be really helpful. If they could put a grill here, can do something else here to pop the space. Okay. And then, so that's the photos. We talked about the listing. So here, a little more detail would be nice too from Trisha here. It's good, but I think it could be just a little more. There could be a bit more here to kind of showcase your personality, but not bad. And then when we look at the last thing I want to do is looking at the revenue here, right? So, it's booked pretty well. I'm just looking. So what I like to do is just look at if someone's doing revenue management properly. So if I book on a weekend here, it's $120 a night, $80 cleaning fee. If I'm booking so that's the first available weekend, right? Now, if I'm booking, say, a month out, this should probably be higher, $200 a night. So that's good, right? So they're doing some revenue management there. It's good. The problem I see here is when I go here on the weekday, it's still 120 a night. Now, this, if you're going to hit an 85% occupancy rate, this is way too high, right? You need, unless there's an event or something in town, this needs to be lowered to $70, $80 a night, right? And what you should do is increase your minimum length of stay. So even if you have lower per night rates, if you can book them for 3 nights at $70 a night, you get to absorb your middays, your midweek where it might sit empty, and still earn revenue from it, and be able to earn a profit. You don't want those, especially for rental arbitrage. You don't want units to sit there empty because your rent continues to click, right? So that's something there that I would be very mindful of here. It looks like she got a really nice kind of week-long booking here. That's great. Thanksgiving looks still to be open here, so like here is another issue where Thanksgiving is underpriced, right? I know it hasn't been booked yet, but someone that wants this booking around Thanksgiving is going to pay a lot for that, right? And that's right around this time here. So what I would do here is then, and this is the data part, and for folks here in the program, if you're not subscribed to AirDNA, you're doing yourself a disservice, because what you need to do is then go here, go on AirDNA. You got to go. So I've already popped up Salt Lake City. I've selected it's a 2-bedroom, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath here. But what first, what you want to look at, okay, I should take a step back here. I think one, you want to look at your seasonality. If you haven't tracked, you should be tracking your seasonality here, right? So what it's telling me is that these dates last year were really popular. And remember, holidays fall on different days of the year, right? So this probably was Thanksgiving last year. So Thanksgiving, that it will book out. Okay, so that's the first thing I would just double check and make sure. And then second is here. These are really powerful revenue management tools that you definitely want to keep in mind. So what this tells you is like, what was the average daily rate last year for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Salt Lake City? So just make sure that you're kind of in line. So for the listing that we looked at, if it was further optimized, it shouldn't be $120 a night. It should be a lot higher. But the property isn't presented well. And this is what I mean by leaving revenue on the door, right? The average rate is call it 120 right now, but that's actually a really great property because it's an excellent location, right? It's in a apartment building that has amenities, has a gym, has an elevator, has a lot of cool stuff, has a balcony. So it should do in the 90 percentile range, right? 75th, 90 percentile range. So if you're doing that, then you need to get your listing better and then be able to price appropriately. And then I'm also going to share with you here. So you're able to, let me actually share this real quick, excuse me. So I want to share with you guys. So you can pull this from AirDNA, and it's a really good way to make sure that you are. So you should be seeing you should be seeing the Excel sheet here. I pulled this data from AirDNA. So it has the 25th, 50th, 75th, 90th percentile. So, for folks that responded to my email about the 90th percentile of their market. So this is what I mean here, right? the spread between a 75th percentile property in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Salt Lake City, a 75th percentile property does $30,000 a year, $30.5 thousand a year. A 90th percentile property does almost $42,000 a year, right? That's a 1/3 increase in revenue. Remember, your costs are the same, but if you can go for 75th to 90th percentile property, you increase your revenue by 1/3. And if you're looking at it from a profit perspective, you're going to at least triple your profits, right? So it really, if you have a good property, it really behooves you to get it as high as possible in your market, right? So this benchmarking exercise is actually really important. And then you can go and see what 90th percentile properties look like in your market and copy and paste, right? Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? So, that property should be doing $42,000 a year, right? That it has everything there, that it has the right location, has the right amenities. It's just not marketed properly. And then, I know this, I always say kind of Airbnb listing rescue, right? But you want to be on all the platforms, Booking.com, Vrbo. You can see from my business, and I preach this. So this shouldn't be a surprise to most people, but I mean, just go back to that slide here. There's no way we are doing 80% occupancy across the portfolio if we're just on Airbnb, right? I mean, it's mathematically impossible because, we're out this 30% of revenue here. So, this is the difference this is profit all here, right? This is the difference probably between 65% and 80%. So, get your listing right on Airbnb and make sure that's reflected across all your different OTAs. Okay. I do actually want to highlight one property from in Brazil here that was actually very beautiful, and I want to showcase this here. Let me show you this. Thank you for the student, or thank you for the person that sent this. I thought this was really, really well done. This is very, very, very well done. So this is Obio Casa in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. It's 36 5-star reviews, guest favorite, and I really like this listing. It's really, really well done. Top 1% of homes, but the copy is very clean and clear. It's not what we would do it exactly, but it works, right? It covers. It's in bullet point form. It's pithy. What is the unique? The guest access. What's the unique part of the property? Here, artwork from local Brazilian artists, family friendly, furniture from famous designers, etc. Right. So it really, hospital grade HEPA filter, 3-stage water filtration system, A+ technology. So this is a really well done property. Just the listing title, the script, the copy, and then just look at the photos. Right. A lot of depth, a lot of color. It's very engaging. You're looking at these photos. It's very engaging. This host has a staff there that kind of helps out, so which is really nice. Kind of showcases the hospitality of the property. So this is a really, I thought this was really kind of cool and neat. Showcases technology. The kitchen again shows a lot of depth in the photos. Very well appointed. You look at the beds, the artwork, everything ties together and just very, very well done. So if you're on Obio Casa, very, very, very well done property. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some questions. So we're about to hit an hour here. I wish we had more time, but I want to respect the people that join the VIP. Do you use both AirDNA and PriceLabs data for? We do use both, but AirDNA we found, at least in our markets, to be more, have a higher level of explanatory power. Like I think this is more data. That's really more their business. AirDNA has started doing that, but I don't think it's as good yet. But if you have both, I always tell people use AirDNA if you can't afford both, then that's fine. Just use the one that you have. something's better than nothing. But if you have access to both, then use AirDNA first and then use that to double check Price Labs. That's the order operations that I would use. Okay. I'm going to, I'll extend this for a few more minutes, and then we will go over to the VIP. So the 5 proven strategies, I'm just going to go through it. So this is the audit framework. So the listing, the profile, the revenue upside audit, design, what amenities you're missing, pricing management, reviews we haven't talked about, operations, optimization, technology, finance. So, as when we're looking at listings, these are the 10 things that we look at. Make sure that if you don't have the time, right, the most important thing is the photos and your script on your listing. Those are the ones that are easiest to fix. And once you're going to get that down, then there are other ones that you can tackle. But photos aren't that expensive, $200-$300 to get a decent photographer. And listing optimization, it's just you kind of doing the work on your desktop, on your laptop to have a better copy. Okay. Did you guys get one actual insight from that? There are 40 people here. Did someone learn something? Did everyone pull at least one thing from looking at my property, looking at that Salt Lake City property, the one in Rio de Janeiro? Type 1 if you got something from, if you were able to pull one actual insight from this. Crystal, Jaime, Ian, Mark, right. Tony. Depth in pictures. Thanks, AJ. Anne Marie in okay, cool. All right. Well, we're gonna skip this for now because we just don't have time. And if you want more support, and a lot of you are already part of the STR the Best community, so thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys learned something. But this is the knowledge that we're sharing, right? How to make more money in your listings, right? And how to optimize it, do less work, be able to scale. We have an expert network of all the parts of how you can get more properties, analyze data, save taxes, your bookkeeping, kind of all the key parts of running our short-term rental business. We have experts within every single one. So that's something that the community offers. And, more so there's 200 plus people there that are all either have their business and trying to scale or, beginning to launch your business. So if you're looking for a community that can help you take that next step, I encourage you to reach out to me and learn more. We'd be happy to see if we can help you on that. Okay. And okay, so I'm going to kind of I'm going to pass through this here. We're going to do the second listing audit on the VIP. So, we're going to run out of time here. And again, I encourage you to, if you found this helpful, to upgrade to the VIP. Look, it's not, we left it at a reasonable price, and this, and again, 100% of proceeds. So it's not one of those like net proceeds, a portion of profits. 100% of anything we collect is going to get donated to the ASPCA of New York City. So you'll be helping a good cause. The offer is there, and then I will send. I think Izzy, would you send that as well if you don't mind? So unfortunately, we won't be giving out. So questions: is it recorded? We'll be getting copies. So unfortunately, copies won't be provided for the deck here. So just follow along and join the next one. And the recording will not be shared. So this is something that we're not going to be putting online. If you are, and lastly here, before we switch over to the VIP, if you would like to learn more about the STR Like the Best program, thanks, Miguel. if you would like to learn more about the program, please just book a call with my team. And if you are curious about what the program offers, or if you're already in the program and want more support through the mentorship program, please book a call, and we'd love to. My team would love to speak with you and see how we can be more helpful. Okay, so I'll leave this up there. Izzy, if you wouldn't mind putting the link there for everyone for the VIP. I'll just put the VIP up here real quick. Just leave it up there for you guys. And so we're going to end this shortly. The recording will still kind of be on, but we're going to opt to the VIP hour now. So for folks that are in the program, it should be on your calendar. It's a Zoom link. I haven't joined yet, so I need to get on there. If you aren't part of the program, please upgrade to the VIP experience. Again, everything that you pay will be donated to the ASPCA. And if you want to learn more about STR Like the Best, please book a call there. It's strlikethebest.com/get-started. Okay. Everyone, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for joining. There's going to be another email that comes out. I would love to get your feedback, what you thought was helpful, what I covered too much on, what more you'd like to see. Your feedback's helpful. And, if we get enough interest, we'll do another one of these listing audits, listing workshops soon. So the more you tell me what you want to see, the better I can make this for you guys. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining, and I will see you on the VIP hour. Bye now.